Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the English translation of the Majlis of Hazrat Maulana Qamar Uzzaman Saheb Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on Wednesday, the 22nd of Rabi'ul Awwal 1444, corresponding with the English date 19th of October 2022. This Majlis took place after the Esha Salat at Jami'ul Ulum, Afzalgarh, Bijnor, West UP. Hazrat Wala starts off by quoting Akrimu Hamalat al-Quran فَإِنَّهُ مَنْ أَكْرَمَهُ أَكْرَمَنِي. Honor the bearer of the Quran, for whosoever honors him has indeed honored me. Now I understand Hazrat Wala is saying that this is my great fortune that I am present in such a Mubarak and a blessed Majlis. Rather, I understand it to be a grand favor of Maulana that he has invited me to attend and make myself present in such a great majlis and gathering. There are many different gatherings of business and commerce, political gatherings, and the list go on. But the gathering in which the talks of Allah and Rasul take place, that's the greatest of all. Inna sa'yakum lashatta. However, the efforts of man are so different. Someone's efforts are for this and someone's efforts are for that. Now this gathering is so beloved, it is beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If just two people sit in the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes down. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam himself was commanded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَاصْبِرْ نَفْسَكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ رَبَّهُمْ بِالْغَدَاةِ وَالْعَشِيِّ. That leave your private chamber and restrain yourself. Go out, you would have to persevere, but go and sit with those people that are making dua and making my dhikr day and night. Now, the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is something very great. The greatest form of dhikr is that of the Quran Majid. We also understand the great form of dhikr, which is the kalima tayyiba. Hazrat Wala thereafter quotes an incident that on one occasion he says, I came to South Africa and there was a dawat, an invitation where business people were invited, such that the impressions of the people thereafter who attended said that we had never been also with such people before. Nevertheless, I was called at that gathering. Now, people came and they sat, and the question arose that, okay, now to start off this gathering, who will recite Quran? Who is going to sit on that seat there in front of everyone? Nevertheless, from amongst all these businessmen, one of their children was a Hafidul Quran. He was blind as well, and he recited well. Nevertheless, when I started then speaking to them and advising them, I said to them that amongst all who was called forward and who was given that honor, it was the person who was the bearer and who had the Quran in his bosom. Now this is whosoever Allah Ta'ala chooses, whosoever Allah Ta'ala gifts with this. Now all should make shukr, even the child who's been blessed with this ni'mat, the parents also, and even the ustad. The parents will be made to wear a crown on the day of Qiyamah. Hazrat Maulana Mohammad Ahmad Saheb, you people must have heard about him. Now you know, he would sit on those charpais and people would all sit at the bottom on the floor. But if a Hafidul Quran would arrive, then he would say that you are a Hafidul Quran, therefore come and sit here, and he would seat him next to him or on the charpai and the bed that was there. And he would say that in your bosom and in your heart is the Quran Majid. Our Buzurgan-e-Deen also had so much of appreciation and attached so much of importance to the Quran Majid. This year also is a great fortune for all those parents who have freed their children from other activities and put them on this path. Once, the jungles in Africa, that's so famous, we hear about them. We were going through these jungles, as we would say. And then in the middle of all of that, we find this huge structure. And then the person who's taking us says that, Maulana, this is a place or a idara, institution, where Quran is learned. And it is because of the barakat of this year that our hifazat is made and we are protected. So I understand, and you people should also understand this majlis to be very, very sacred and blessed. My son stays in the Arab, and he would say that what we enjoy here is absolutely unique and amazing, that there is a great connection between the ulama and the grand masses. I mean, just look at this gathering here. There are so many ulama, and all the people have this opportunity to be with the ulama. But there in the Arab, you don't find this type of thing. Maybe here and there, just 1-2 places or something, or in the haram. In Allahabad, there used to be a yearly jalsa over 4 days. It was started up by Maulana Abdul Shakur Saheb. And Allahabad was a place which was filled with customs and bid'at. But so much of Islah and reformation, rehabilitation of the Muslims took place by means of these type of jalsas that were held there. So when Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb came and he started doing his work, he even then sent a message with me that go and tell the Muntazimeen and the organizers of this Jalsa that the fundamental and the grassroots work was done by them. They had cleared the field. I have done nothing. Rather, I am just taking the seed and planting it now. So great work has been done by them, which he also appreciated dearly. I went in Arab also, and we were going with the driver, and we needed to go to the place, but we're passing and we're going Muzdalifah, and then we're going to Mina, and I'm saying to the driver, where are you taking us? But the driver says, I don't know about this. What is Muzdalifah? What is a Mina? Now this is what I'm trying to say to you, that when people, the general masses, don't have a connection with the ulama, they would even forget about such basics of deen. So in these gatherings, each person benefits from the next person. There are spiritual waves. Now there is a great importance attached to these madaris of ours. They are the great fortresses in which the Quran and Hadith is imparted from. Allah Ta'ala retain and keep our madaris, and we should also make an effort in seeing to the existence and the continuation of our madaris, because in this lies our fortune. And there is much more efforts that are needed as well by the ulama, and not only by the ulama, by the umara, by the business people and the affluent as well. كن عالما أو متعلما أو مستمعا أو محبا ولا تكن الخامسة. Become an alim, or at least one who learns from the ulama, or at least one who listens to their talks, or at least one who loves them. وَلَا تَكُنِ الْخَامِسَةِ. But do not fall into the fifth category. Allahu Akbar. So according to the amount of yaqeen and tasdeeq that we have in our hearts for these type of jalsas and the benefits that they carry, that's the amount of benefit we will take. Allah Ta'ala give us all the tawfiq. I was just seeing Hazrat Raipuri has written that we should have these type of jalsas. Why? Because then our children and the youth can be encouraged, and they can be praised, and they can have himmat. They need our support as well. When we used to go into the villages, etc., then sometimes we would hear the children reading Quran. Now it is this adhan, masjid, and our children learning in the madrasa. It is because of this, the madaris, that it is keeping away misfortunes and calamities. So there is a very great need for our madaris, establishment of them, and continuation as well. So the hadith says, "Wajabat mahabbati lil mutahabbina fiyya." Lil mutahabbina fiyya, that my muhabbat, my love, has become compulsory for those who love one another for my sake. So we have to have confidence and i'tiqad and yaqeen, and accordingly that's how much we would reap from these majalis. Many people are working blood and sweat with their hearts and their lives. Allah Ta'ala let that continue. And if we do not do this here, deen will leave our homes, deen will leave our localities. Today just see what type of clothes our youth and people are wearing. Not even that, even the girls, the females, just look at their clothing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rectify and establish our muasharat, social conduct, our deen, our akhlaq. La darara wa la dirara fil Islam. And we should not inconvenience, not harm any person in any way. A very famous hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, al-Muslimu man salima al-Muslimuna min lisanihi wa yadihi. A Muslim is the one whom other Muslims are safe from his tongue and his hands. So the hadith is very famous, but very rarely or very few people are making amal on it. So ila Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam an akthari ma yudkhilul jannah. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam was asked about that which would make it possible, that amal that would make it possible for people to enter into Jannah in abundance. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam answered, Taqwallah wa husnul khulq, the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and good character. Qala Ibn al-Qayyim, Ibn Qayyim says, by carrying out or adopting taqwa, the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we would fulfill the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and by means of good character we would fulfill the right of fellow man. So we should not inconvenience any person in any way, not by our pen, not by our hands, not by our tongue, not even with our eyes. Sometimes the hadith says that ghibat is also done with the eyes. A person is making this eyes and like that there, speaking about the person whose back is there, the person who's there about him, but we don't want him to know this or that or the other. Imam Ghazali has even gone so much to say that this backbiting has become that delicacies on which we have on our table spreads. This ghibat has become such delicacies in the majalis and in the gatherings of the pious also. Now if this is going to be the case, then how would the deen remain, and how would it remain pure? Today wherever you go, it is backbiting, complaining, slandering, and this has become completely common. Here the ulama have given so many talks and advices. I was listening attentively. Then too I took the opportunity to say something and present to you what I have learned from Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb. Allah Ta'ala give us all the tawfiq and the hidayat of accepting these talks of deen. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala establish and make firm our deen and let it continue. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala let our madaris also continue. Now let us make dua. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin nabiyil ummi wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhaban nar. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك الرحمة إنك أنت الوهاب اللهم أصلح أمة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم اللهم ارحم أمة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم اللهم فرج عن أمة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم اللهم اغفر لأمة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم اللهم تجاوز عن أمة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us with His grace and His mercy. Allah remove on all unfavorable conditions and difficulties. Allah ta'ala bless us with concern for our reformation and the tawfiq and hidayat of seeing to the spiritual and deeni all other needs of our children and our families as well. Many things are coming in front of me regarding the ummah. I even feel scared of relating them and bringing it onto my tongue. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make our tarbiyat and give us good spiritual upbringing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep our deen established and let it continue. Allah ta'ala protect us and save us from harming others and inconveniencing them. Allah ta'ala protect us from ghibat. In fact, it is even written that about abstaining from making ghibat of even non-Muslims. Allah ta'ala accept this khidmat of deen which is being carried out here in this institution, and Allah protect it as well. All those who are sick, Allah ta'ala grant them shifa. And regarding the economical situation and trade and commerce, many people are in difficulty. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala create every type of sahulat and ease. Allah ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of following the sunnats of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah give us the tawfiq and make it easy for us and create ease for us. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم بحرمة سيد النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم.